The darkness of space was vast and eternal, an endless sea of silence punctuated only by the dim glimmer of distant stars. But that silence was shattered when Earth's most advanced deep space listening array, the Orion Sentinel, detected something unexpected, a signal. It wasn't just any signal. It carried patterns, complexity, and an eerie familiarity, as if it were crafted specifically for human ears. The scientists at the Sentinel station, stationed on the far side of the moon, scrambled to decode it, but the more they unraveled its layers, the more unsettling it became. Dr. Elias Carter, the head astrophysicist, paced the command center. His tired eyes flickered between the fluctuating waveform on the monitors and the translated data scrolling across the screen. "It's a warning," he finally whispered, his voice barely audible over the hum of machinery. Commander Evelyn Hayes, a battle-hardened veteran of the Space Defense Initiative, crossed her arms. "A warning? From whom?" Carter exhaled sharply. "We don't know yet, but whatever sent this message knew we would find it, and they wanted us to understand what's coming." Before anyone could respond, a klaxon blared. The station's AI, designated Sage, interrupted with an urgent alert. "Unidentified object detected at the edge of the solar system. Trajectory suggests direct course for Earth. Estimated time of arrival, 4 months." The room fell into an anxious silence. Then Evelyn turned toward her officers. "Get me in touch with the UEG High Command. We need every available asset mobilized. Now!" Earth's leaders convened in an emergency summit, their holographic projections gathered in the central war room of the United Earth Government's headquarters in Geneva. The president, flanked by top military officials, addressed the assembly. "We have reason to believe an extraterrestrial force is approaching our world," she announced grimly. "We don't know their intentions, but if history has taught us anything, it's that we must be prepared for the worst." General Marcus Steele, the supreme commander of Earth's defenses, leaned forward. "We need to assume this is an invasion force. If we wait until they arrive, it'll be too late." Opposing voices rose in protest. Some called for diplomacy. Others feared inciting conflict. But the decision was ultimately made. Earth would not sit idly by. The call to arms was issued. Factories across the planet shifted production to weapons and warships. Military forces were mobilized. The Mars shipyards worked around the clock, constructing Earth's first true space armada, codenamed the Aegis Fleet. In the meantime, reconnaissance probes were sent to intercept the incoming object. As the days passed, the tension grew unbearable. Then, the first probe transmitted its final image before being destroyed. A massive, shadowy construct, shaped like an ominous spear, hurtling toward Earth. With time running out, the newly formed fleet was deployed beyond Mars, taking position along the defensive perimeter. Evelyn Hayes was given command of the flagship, the UNS Valiant, a dreadnought unlike anything Earth had ever built. As she stood on the bridge, watching the distant stars, she clenched her jaw. If they want a war, they'll get one. And so, humanity braced itself for the unknown, for the battle that would determine its fate. The tension on the bridge of the UNS Valiant was palpable. Crew members whispered among themselves, their gazes flickering toward the vast darkness beyond the observation window. The enemy was still unseen, but its presence was felt like a looming shadow over humanity's last hope. "Commander Hayes," Sage's synthetic voice interrupted the quiet murmur. "Long-range scans have detected multiple energy signatures approaching the fleet's defensive line. Estimated time to engagement, 16 hours. Evelyn tightened her grip on the armrest of her chair. "Bring the fleet into full combat readiness. I want all ships on high alert. No one fires until I give the order." General Steele's voice crackled over the secured communications line. "We need more intel before we make our move. We still don't know exactly what we're dealing with." Dr. Elias Carter, patched into the comms from the lunar base, interjected. "I've continued analyzing the transmission. There's something I missed before. It's not just a warning. It's a set of coordinates, and they lead to Jupiter's moon, Europa." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "Europa?" "Yes. I believe the message is guiding us to something there. Something important. Maybe even an ally." Steele exhaled sharply. "That's a hell of a gamble. But we can't ignore it." Evelyn made her decision. I'll take a detachment to Europa. Steele, hold the line until we return. If things go south, buy us as much time as you can. The Valiant and two escort frigates, the UNS Resolute and the UNS Tempest, broke formation and accelerated toward Europa, leaving behind the bulk of the fleet to prepare for the coming battle. The journey was tense, every second bringing them closer to whatever secrets the icy moon held. As the ships descended toward Europa's surface, the scanners lit up with strange anomalies. A massive structure, buried beneath miles of ice, pulsed with energy, clearly artificial, clearly ancient. Evelyn turned to Carter, who was analyzing the readings. What the hell are we looking at? Carter's voice was almost reverent. I think we just found the answer to who sent that signal. And maybe, just maybe, the key to surviving what's coming. As the crew prepared to deploy a team, a sudden alert blared through the ship. Multiple unknown vessels were emerging from beneath the ice, their sleek, angular forms unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Evelyn's breath caught in her throat as a lead alien vessel sent a single message across all channels. We are the Kellner. You are not ready. And then, without warning, they attacked. The battle had begun. As the shadowy construct loomed ever closer, the first wave of Earth's defenses launched into action. The newly formed Aegis fleet, led by the UNS Valiant, advanced beyond Mars' orbit to intercept the incoming threat. Captain Evelyn Hayes stood on the bridge, her expression steely as a countdown to first contact ticked down. All ships, hold formation, she ordered. Weapons free the moment we have confirmation of hostility. Across the fleet, officers and soldiers held their breath as the alien craft entered range. The first volley of long-range railgun fire streaked through space, slamming into the vessel's dark hull. To the horror of everyone watching, the round simply disintegrated upon impact, as if swallowed by an invisible force. No effect, came the frantic call from the weapons officer. They are still coming. Before another command could be issued, the alien ship retaliated. Beams of searing energy erupted from its surface, carving through the void and striking several of the smaller escort ships. The UNS Resolute was the first to go, its hull splitting apart in a violent explosion that sent debris scattering into the darkness. Evasive maneuvers. Hayes shouted, "All ships, return fire. Target the seams in their armor." Missiles, plasma rounds, and concentrated laser beams lit up the battlefield as Earth's forces fought to push back the approaching enemy. Despite their best efforts, the alien warship advanced undeterred, its energy weapons methodically picking off the fleet's outliers. On the Valiant, Dr. Elias Carter was running complex scans of the enemy's defenses. His fingers flew across the console as he searched for weaknesses. "Commander," he called out, "they are using some kind of energy-dampening field. Our kinetic weapons are useless. We need to disrupt their shield before we can do any real damage." General Marcus Steele's voice crackled over the intercom from the war room on Earth. "Then find us a way to break through. We cannot let them reach our homeworld." Carter gritted his teeth, analyzing every possible angle. Then a realization struck him. What if we overload their field? If we detonate an EMP warhead at close range, we might be able to create a momentary opening. Hayes turned to her weapons officer. "Do we have an EMP warhead ready to deploy?" "We do, but it's designed for planetary use. We'd need to manually guide it in." A silence fell over the bridge as the weight of the decision set in. Whoever piloted the warhead would not be coming back. "I'll do it," came a voice from the comms channel. Lieutenant Darius Cole, one of the most skilled pilots in the fleet, stepped forward. "Give me a shuttle and a warhead. I'll make sure it gets there." Evelyn locked eyes with him. "You understand what this means, Lieutenant." Cole smirked. "If I don't do this, we all die anyway. I'd rather take a shot at saving everyone." With no time to waste, the mission was set into motion. Cole launched in a modified fighter, the EMP warhead secured beneath its hull. As the battle raged around him, he weaved through enemy fire, dodging beams of energy that could have vaporized him in an instant. "Almost there," he muttered, gripping the controls tightly. The alien vessel sensed the threat and redirected its fire toward the lone fighter. Warning sirens blared in Cole's cockpit as his shields flickered under the relentless assault. "Come on, just a little closer." Then, With a deep breath, he activated the warhead's manual detonation sequence. For Earth. The explosion sent a blinding shockwave rippling through space. The alien ship's shielding flickered, then collapsed entirely. For the first time, it was vulnerable. Now! Hayes bellowed. Hit them with everything we've got. The Aegis fleet unleashed a barrage of firepower. This time, the rounds found their mark. The alien vessel's hull cracked, its structure breaking apart under the sheer force of the assault. A final, desperate energy pulse erupted from the ship, destroying a few more Earth vessels before it finally imploded, consumed by its own collapsing core. A stunned silence followed. Then, cheers erupted across the fleet. "We did it," whispered Carter. Hayes, however, did not celebrate. She stared at the wreckage, her gut telling her that this was far from over. A transmission came through, overriding all channels. It wasn't from Earth. It wasn't human. A deep, resonant voice filled the comms. "You have chosen war. We are coming." The screen displayed a horrifying sight, an entire fleet, dozens of alien warships, emerging from the darkness beyond the solar system. The battle had only just begun. The space around Mars was no longer silent. The Aegis fleet, now in full combat formation, loomed like a shield between Earth and the incoming threat. The massive dreadnoughts, flanked by destroyers, cruisers, and agile corvettes, floated in the abyss, their weapon system primed and locked on the advancing alien warships. Evelyn Hayes stood at the bridge of the UNS Valiant, her gaze fixed on the holographic battlefield display. The enemy fleet was closing in, an overwhelming force of sleek, black vessels, their hulls glistening like polished obsidian against the void. Incoming transmission. Lieutenant Jonas barked from his station. Evelyn straightened. "Patch it through." The bridge dimmed, and the main screen flickered to life. An image appeared, an alien figure, humanoid in shape but impossibly tall and clad in segmented armor that pulsed with an eerie bioluminescence. Its eyes, a cold and piercing silver, regarded the humans with something that might have been disdain or curiosity. "We are the Zalari Dominion." The entity spoke, its voice smooth yet layered, as if multiple tones spoke in unison. "Your defiance is noted. Surrender your homeworld and submit, or be annihilated." Evelyn's expression hardened. "We don't surrender. If you want Earth, you will have to fight for it." A brief pause, then a chilling response. "So be it." The transmission cut out. Almost immediately, the void was filled with light as the enemy ships fired first. Evasive maneuvers. Return fire. Evelyn roared. The battle erupted in a symphony of destruction. Bright energy lances streaked across space, slamming into defensive shields, which shimmered under impact. The Valiant's cannons thundered, releasing kinetic slugs the size of city buses, each impact rocking enemy vessels with deadly force. Fighter squadrons swarmed the battlefield. The sleek human raptors danced between the alien war machines, weaving through torrents of plasma fire. Explosions dotted the battlefield as ships were torn apart, their debris scattering into the cold abyss. "Valiant shield integrity at 65%, shouted Chief Engineer Patel. Evelyn gritted her teeth. "Divert power to forward shields and keep those railguns firing." To her right, Admiral Steele appeared on the comms. His face was blooded. The bridge of his flagship, the UNSR's, engulfed in smoke. "We're losing ships fast, Evelyn. They outgun us." She knew he was right. The Zalari warships were relentless, their weapons bypassing conventional shielding with terrifying efficiency. But Earth had not come this far to be extinguished. "Launch the Nova-class torpedoes," she ordered. "We hit them with everything we've got." A series of massive warheads ignited from human battleships, hurtling toward the enemy like fiery spears. The explosions that followed shook the battlefield, consuming several Zalari vessels in an inferno of destruction. For a moment, hope sparked. Then came the counterattack. A monstrous Zalari capital ship, nearly twice the size of the Valiant, emerged from the darkness. It unleashed a beam of raw energy so powerful that it sliced through 3 human destroyers as if they were paper. "They've got a super weapon." Jonas yelled, "Target that ship. Everything on it." Evelyn commanded. The fleet turned its fire on the behemoth, but the Zalari vessel's defenses were beyond anything humanity had encountered. Pulse barriers absorbed impact after impact, and their return fire was merciless. One by one, human ships were falling. Then, something unexpected happened. A new signal appeared on the battlefield, an unknown fleet emerging from hyperspace. The newcomers were neither human nor Zalari. Their ships were elongated, shimmering with golden light, their technology beyond anything seen before. A transmission came through, voice deep and ancient. "Humans, your defiance has been witnessed. We are the Valtraxian exiles. Your enemy is our enemy. We will stand with you." Before Evelyn could even respond, the Valtraxian fleet joined the fray. Their weapons unleashed arcs of energy that tore through Zalari's shields, forcing the invaders onto the defensive. Hope surged through the human ranks. "All units, regroup and push forward." Evelyn commanded, determination blazing in her eyes. The tide of battle shifted. For the first time, the Zalari fleet faltered. Humanity was not alone in this war, and the fight for survival had only just begun. The bridge of the UNS Valiant was bathed in red light, the emergency alarms blaring in a deafening chorus of impending doom. Captain Evelyn Hayes stood tall, her steel-blue eyes locked onto the holoscreen displaying the enemy fleet's advance. The void of space had transformed into a battlefield where survival was uncertain. "All remaining ships, form up. This is our last stand." Evelyn's voice carried unwavering resolve as she addressed the fleet. The Aegis fleet, once a shining symbol of humanity's technological prowess, had been reduced to nearly half its original strength. The battle had raged on for what felt like an eternity. The alien warships, sleek and deadly, moved with terrifying precision, adapting to every countermeasure the humans had thrown at them. Yet, Earth's forces had held their ground, refusing to surrender. "Captain, we have a breach on Deck 3. Sage's artificial voice cut through the tension. Evelyn's fists clenched. "Seal off the section. Anyone still there?" "Lieutenant Carter and 2 engineers. Communications are down." A sinking feeling settled in her stomach. Elias Carter, the scientist who had deciphered the mysterious signal, was one of the few people who truly understood what they were dealing with. Losing him was not an option. Send security drones to assist and get them out of there. Now! The ship trembled violently as another blast rocked its hull. Evelyn grabbed the nearest console to steady herself. Outside, the alien flagship, a monstrous construct pulsing with eerie, green energy, loomed ever closer, its superweapon charging. General Marcus Steele's voice crackled through the comms. "We need to take out that flagship. Hayes, it's their command center. If we destroy it, we might have a chance." Evelyn inhaled sharply. "Understood. Give me every available battleship. We make our move now." The remnants of Earth's fleet pushed forward, their engines burning bright as they weaved through the carnage. Fighters zipped past, engaging the enemy in desperate dogfights, while the remaining dreadnoughts unleashed their payloads against the flagship shields. Evelyn's fingers danced over the control panel, issuing rapid orders. The Valiant surged ahead, leading the charge. Laser fire crisscrossed the battlefield, detonations blooming like deadly flowers in the vacuum of space. Incoming energy surge. Sage warned, "Enemy flagship is firing." A blinding beam erupted from the alien vessel, slicing through 3 human battleships as if they were made of paper. Evelyn watched in horror as the UNS Vanguard, one of the last remaining heavy cruisers, was engulfed in flames. "We won't last at this rate," Commander Patel from the UNS Oman called out. "We need to hit their core." Evelyn knew they only had one shot. She turned to her weapons officer. "Prepare the quantum lance." The Valiant's most powerful weapon, a prototype designed to pierce even the strongest of defenses, had never been tested in actual combat. But there was no time for hesitation. "Target their energy core and fire on my mark." The enemy flagship, sensing the impending attack, unleashed swarms of fighter drones to intercept. Earth's fleet responded in kind, pushing through with everything they had left. The battle had reached its peak. Evelyn watched as her targeting systems aligned with the core of the enemy ship. The charge indicator on the quantum lance blinked green. "Fire!" A brilliant beam of concentrated energy tore through space, piercing through the enemy flagship shields like a dagger through flesh. The ship convulsed, a chain reaction of explosions spreading across its surface. For a moment, there was silence. Then, A massive detonation erupted from within the alien vessel, splitting it apart from the inside. Shockwaves rippled across the battlefield as debris scattered in all directions. The remaining alien warships faltered, their formation breaking. Without their command ship, they were disoriented, vulnerable. Earth's fleet seized the opportunity. The remaining battleships pushed forward, picking off the stragglers one by one. Cheers erupted across the comms as the enemy forces began to retreat, vanishing into the dark void from which they had come. The battle was won. The UNS Valiant drifted amidst the wreckage, its hull battered but still intact. Evelyn slumped into her chair, exhaustion finally setting in. "Status report?" she asked weakly. Sage responded. "Casualties are high, but we held the line. The enemy has been defeated." Evelyn exhaled, a mix of relief and sorrow washing over her. The cost had been immense, but humanity had survived. The price of victory, however, was written in the debris-strewn field around them. A message flashed across the holoscreen. A transmission from UEG High Command. "Captain Hayes, you and your crew have saved Earth. Return home. You've earned it." Evelyn closed her eyes for a brief moment. The war was over, but the stars held many more secrets yet to be uncovered. As the Valiant turned toward home, she couldn't shake one lingering thought. The signal had warned them about this threat. But what if it was just a beginning?